it's Lauren. Today is March the 5th, 2025, and as most of you all know, I am diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and I have written 2 books about it. This one is my latest one, and it is a devotional based on advice in the first book, Lipstick and Autism. I want to talk a little bit about it today, and I want to read a portion of a letter that my cousin wrote to me, whom I sent her a copy of my Born to Shine book. And she was talking about the section about the meltdown. I'm going to read that section to you guys and a couple of other sections. I'm so pleased that you have continued writing books. It takes courage in your message and conviction to speak out for yourself and others. I was very taken with 11, pages 18 and 19, and that is the section that I talk about the meltdowns. About your bravery in calling attention to meltdowns. I do totally agree. Comparing autism with other misunderstood brain working is different to other illnesses, and people's post responses, negative and positive, helpful. Not a negative comment which causes more harm to you / self-esteem, so suffer even more. If someone was having a reaction to sugar diabetes or heart attack, people would not say, stop holding your heartbeat / chest in pain. No one wants to see that, or your point well taken. You see a meltdown as a flare, making it more potent point to understanding what you have recognized your whole life. My heart hurts for you and also celebrates you because you're able to share it with others. That was one section of it. I do want to read you that section that I authored about the meltdowns, and another one, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. More about it as compared to my first one. So, chapter 11, meltdowns. Whoever wants to show love forgives a wrong. Proverbs 17:9 NIRV. It's okay if your child or loved one has meltdowns. They are not trying to draw attention. These are the result of emotional stress and worry. Meltdowns are a temporary loss of control and are not completely preventable or controllable. That is an unrealistic goal to achieve. Be prepared to deal with them when they happen, and remember, they will happen in those that are prone to them. Other chronic medical conditions flare up from time to time. Autism is no different. I see a meltdown as a flare of autism. I discovered based on my experience that stuff that can cause other illnesses to flare up can intensify or cause meltdowns. Typical stressors that normal people experience can be worse on autistic people and cause severe meltdowns. The autistic brain works differently from that of a normal person, and therefore many of their thoughts and feelings will be different from that of a normal person. There are many reasons why autistic people develop feelings that cause meltdowns. Many of these issues seem irrational to neurotypical people because they do not understand. Their strong rote memory can cause them to remember more unpleasant events that can, over time, cause them to develop anxiety and low self-esteem. This can lead to recurrent meltdowns. I often have privileges suspended during meltdowns. When this happens, it feels like a mental form of claustrophobia that makes me fight to retain my privilege. Intense worry from the fight or flight mode kicks in, making these people feel very vulnerable and anxious. Punishment makes them feel worse and will intensify and prolong the meltdowns and stimming. I was taught that it's inappropriate to cry or scream in public places, but I disagree with this. I don't feel like it's healthy for autistic people to hold in emotions. Suppressing my meltdowns never worked for me. I read one section in a recent book about where one woman with high-functioning autism suppressed her emotions so much that she was physically sick. One way to think about a meltdown is to think about how you would react to someone with a food allergy or diabetes who knowingly ate something that would cause them problems. You would immediately get help for them. Think of meltdowns the same way, though they are treated differently. If your child has a meltdown, it's okay to feel concerned about them and guilty. If someone asks if your child is okay, thank them for asking and just say that your child is autistic and prone to meltdowns. Let your child or loved one know that they are loved and autism is not their fault. I do best when letting my meltdowns run their course like a virus and going into another room to cry and stim. When they start to feel better, the person should do something relaxing. Instead, try to listen without judging and use comments such as, "Would you like to explain why you feel this way? Is there anything I can do to help you feel better?" etc. Comments such as, "You are too big to act like that, you are being very rude," etc. always made me feel as if it were wrong to even have emotions over a certain event. Forgiveness is healthy for both the child and the parent. Jesus wants us to forgive each other just as he forgave those people who mocked him on the cross. The Apostle Paul wrote the majority of the New Testament and played an important role in the development of Christianity. Prior to his conversion in Acts 9, he persecuted the church. If God forgave Paul of his sins, he can easily forgive autism meltdowns because he knows those are unintentional. If your loved one is having a meltdown, control what you can and otherwise allow them to completely release their emotions. Unless a person is engaging in harmful behavior, let go of any embarrassment. This will pass. If you have any concerns about your child's meltdowns, try to identify potential triggers and consult with an experienced autism expert when needed. Jesus knows your child and understands their meltdowns better than anyone. Your child is worth more than many sparrows. Matthew 10:31 NIRV. Okay, so this is 3 more that I'm going to read, and I feel like it needs to be said. Chapter 28. There is hope. Our troubles are small. They last only for a short time, but they are earning for us a glory that will last forever. It is greater than all our troubles. 2 Corinthians 4:17 NIRV. So you or a loved one received a diagnosis of autism. It's okay. You will get through this. Many of the most successful people in the world had autism or showed symptoms of the disorder. I used to wish for a cure for my condition, but I'm at the point now where I know I will be okay, and compared to other mental health conditions, autism is benign, meaning it will not progress. Services for autism are much better than they were when I was young, and the condition is better understood thanks to autism advocates such as Temple Grandin, autism organizations, and others. The best hope that we have is to live the healthiest life possible and for the world to be more considerate of autism. This is not our true life. Our true life will be in heaven with our Creator. Chapter 29. A bright future. I will make new heavens and a new earth, and they will last forever, announces the Lord. In the same way, your name and your children after you will last forever. Isaiah 66:22 NIRV. Christians believe they will live forever in heaven with Jesus if they ask forgiveness, repent of their sins, and allow God into their lives. Christians who are still living at the end of the world will be taken up to heaven at the snap of a finger. Based on my research on autism, it makes sense that those on the spectrum will go to heaven automatically because God understands them better than their family understands them. I remember one time during Sunday school kids class when we talked about how there would be people in heaven that we would not think would make it there, and vice versa. Of course, we don't know what heaven will be like, but we do know that everything will be perfect. All of the troubles that we experience on earth will be non-existent. Feeling stressed about your autistic loved one? They have a bright future awaiting them in heaven. Jesus told his followers that many who are first now will be last, and many who are last now will be first. 30. You are awesome. Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay. You are the potter. Your hands made all of us. Isaiah 64:8 NIRV. If you are feeling embarrassed or worried about yourself or your autistic loved one, remember this acronym that I made up. Awesome, unique, talented, interesting, smart, and magnificent. And I want to talk a little bit about this book as compared to my first one. I wanted to make advice based on the advice in Lipstick and Autism. Everyone that purchased and read Lipstick and Autism for me has been very complimentary of it, and I'm very thankful for that. But unfortunately, there have also been a lot of people that refuse to buy it. I wanted to make books on my experience with autism because I feel like the world needs to understand autism better. Lipstick and Autism is my memoir, and in this book, I described what it felt like to live with high-functioning autism in a story-like manner. Unfortunately, I tried to get it much cheaper, but my company would not let me sell it for cheaper than $16.99 unless it was an ebook, and on ebook it is $3.99. And for Born to Shine, I switched companies, and thank goodness I was able to sell it for much cheaper than I did Lipstick and Autism. And I wanted to make this one more appealing to non-readers. And I thought, well, if I have two, then there's more chance that one will sell and the other one won't. So for people that are not interested in purchasing Lipstick and Autism, they may be interested in purchasing Born to Shine. So what is the importance of Born to Shine, and why did I make it? We don't have enough Christian resources about autism. And a lot of people that I come into contact with don't like to read. And I feel like more people need to understand autism in a simple but Christian-based way that is also highly affordable. Well, the biggest issue that I faced when trying to sell Lipstick and Autism only was that people didn't have the money. For example, this past weekend, I was at my first book author event of the year for 2025. When I got to the event, before I started to pack up to leave, there was a lady that came by my table. She was looking at both books. She said she reads a lot of audiobooks. She was a little bit iffy about purchasing the copy of Lipstick and Autism that she saw, but she picked it up and she looked at it and said she really liked it. And she was like, no, I'll pass. But then she picks up Born to Shine and she's like, well, how much is this one? And I'm like, it's $6. And then she hands me a $10 bill and purchases that one. And I think the reason that she purchased that one versus Lipstick and Autism is because it is much cheaper than Lipstick and Autism. It's a $13 difference between both books. I'm hoping and praying that I can sell both books. And if one doesn't sell well, I'm praying that the other one will. Thank you guys, everyone, for purchasing a copy of my books. Even though I've only sold one copy of Born to Shine because of the weather. All right. Thank you guys. You have a great day. Bye.